It happened right here, and neighbors say it sounded like at least one fully automatic weapon going off over and over and over again. Police say the city's gunshot detection system heard at least 20 rounds. And when officers got to 1112 Eastern Avenue Northeast, they found a blue Ford Escape riddled with bullet holes. Inside, 24-year-old Rachel Freeman, who had been hit repeatedly.
Just think about this, man. This is gangland. This is like Al Capone, Elliot Ness, Goodfellas. Well, sisters. Like, you a sister out here, man. Tread lightly, man. And I don't know what this sister was involved in. All I'm saying is sister's always been, in the streets, involved in, they from the same community we from. They from the same areas we from. That's their boy, even if they not involved in the street, that's their boyfriends and baby daddies and brothers and fathers that are doing all the crime. So, but we're just seeing lately, I mean, it's getting bad for sisters, man. Like, what happened to like I say, sisters but need to pray on their knees every night for a return to the days with dude to just hog spit in your face and slap you. Now these dudes are, oh yeah? All right, they come back and they spray the car.
Avenue Northeast, they found a blue Ford Escape riddled with bullet holes. Inside, 24-year-old Rachel Freeman, who had been hit repeatedly. Police tweeted a lookout. 3 juveniles driving a gold SUV. There was no answer at Freeman's apartment just above where she was killed, and we have been unable to reach any members of her family. With her killers still at large, neighbors were too scared to go on TV. One neighbor said he'd had some minor arguments with her in the past, but that he is heartbroken that she was shot to death in broad daylight on a Sunday afternoon. He says the gunfire woke him from a nap and terrified him. Police say that gold SUV with 3 juveniles in scene headed this way on Eastern Avenue. They're asking anyone with information to call, and there is an up to $25,000 reward. In Northeast D.C., Bruce Leshan, WUSA.
So this is the victim. This is her. 3 juveniles pulled up and sprayed her car. And listen, man, from what the neighbor said he had a couple arguments with her. She may have had a mouth on her. There's a lot of girls in the hood that got a little mouth on them. But like I said, those girls used to just get slapped or hog spit in their face or go get your brother or something like that. Or I was like, spray you broad daylight. Wow.
NBC4. They are babies. They deserve to be here. This is unacceptable. This is reckless gun violence, and it is plaguing this community.
This is Columbus. Last time we were in Columbus, Ma'Khia Bryant, the young lady who was attempting to kill the other young lady in front of the cops. She thought it was a good idea. Her dad also thought it was a good idea to stomp another girl in front of, just a big mess. And the nation descended on Columbus, saying it was just the worst thing in the world that cop saved that other sister's life by shooting his sister. And another sister in charge of the police department Columbus. Think LeBron's going to make a statement? He loves Ohio, right? Think he's going to make a statement about this city. This city is one of the most dangerous cities in the country, and it's in the same state with Cincinnati and Cleveland and Toledo and Youngstown and Akron and all these other dangerous places.
They are babies. They deserve to be here. This is unacceptable. This is reckless gun violence, and it is plaguing this community.
Columbus Division of Police Assistant Chief LaShawna Potts was visibly upset and called those responsible for shooting and killing multiple people tonight, quote, monsters. Right now, no one is in custody.
3 people, including 2 children, were found inside a car riddled with bullets on Kodiak Drive. This area on the southeast side of Columbus is just outside of Canal Winchester. NBC4's Eric Halperin is live there tonight on Kodiak Drive. So, Eric, the assistant chief, wants to say to the community, enough is enough.
And Colleen, as Assistant Chief Potts was talking about what happened tonight, you could hear loved ones in the area grieving. And she says, while there is nothing she can say to them to bring them any closure, she was very stern in saying whoever did this will be caught. Now, a lot of this apartment complex here on the southeast side is still blocked off tonight. You are looking at the 6600 block of Kodiak Drive. The investigation is focused on the far end from where we're standing. There aren't a whole lot of details, but here's what we know from police so far. According to Assistant Chief Potts, 3 people were shot and killed while they were inside a parked car around 6:15 tonight. She says 2 of the victims are young kids and the 3rd a young adult. When police got here, she says they found the car riddled with bullets. Officers tried to save the 3 victims, but it was too late. Assistant Chief Potts calling this violence reckless.
This is unacceptable. I am pissed. I am pissed. I speak for the division and the officers who have to go to these runs day in and day out. It's getting tiresome.
It's getting tiresome. They're wearing these cops out. Running them ragged. These cops need a raise, man. Working in a Sun City, which is any city over 10% Sun population. Because that's the magic number. Once you get to 10%, big trouble in Little China. Big trouble, okay? You guys think we're going to make it to 2024 without a crime bill? When Columbus is like this?
I am pissed. I am pissed. I speak for the division and the officers who have to go to these runs day in and day out. It's getting tiresome. We need the community to help us. This gun violence has got to stop. It has got to stop. There is a mother now that will have to go on in her life with 2 young babies that she no longer get to raise. They don't get to get married. They don't get to go to school. This should be an outrage to this community, and we have to say enough is enough.
And right now, police say they do not have any suspect information. We will update you as we learn more. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Eric Halperin, NBC4.
And information out there that can help us get these violent monsters off the street before they kill other children.
Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther and other city leaders are pleading for help in solving a triple homicide that left 2 children and a 22-year-old man dead. Those same leaders are calling on all of us here in the city to fight for what they are calling the soul of our city. We do thank you for being with us tonight at 5. I'm Kerry Charles. Brad is off.
And I'm Audrey Hassan in for Jennifer Bullock. Police say last night's deadly shooting was targeted. We have team coverage of this heartbreaking story. We begin with Karina Chung, who has new information about the young victims and the message from the city's top leaders. Karina?
Well, Audrey, Mayor Andrew Ginther, Chief Elaine Bryant, and Public Safety Director Robert Clark say they need your help. If you see something, say something that could lead to a break in this case and bring justice to a grieving mother.
What kind of community of people in the midst of this have to be told repeatedly, please come forward with information, please, if you see some. At some point, we got to take off the gloves, man. The kid gloves, and stop babying these people, man. You got children and women innocent, not even like the like queen pens and little shooters. We're talking about innocent people being mowed down every day. And you're having to beg people for information. It's not like the people are just, the phone's ringing, the tip line phone is ringing off the hook. They got to hire new dispatchers at the tip line. The tip line dispatchers are tired. They're talking like the cop was. We're tired. Too many tips coming in. No, you can't. What kind of place is this? And it's like this everywhere they are. Wherever they are, it's like this. Everywhere. There's no place that it's not like this, where they are. Not one.
Chief Elaine Bryant and Public Safety Director Robert Clark say they need your help. If you see something, say something that could lead to a break in this case and bring justice to a grieving mother.
Demetrius and London may not have been ours biologically or legally, but they are our kids. And this community has lost because of their deaths. Tragic violence.
Mayor Andrew Ginther is calling on the community to step up. Please help police solve this tragic case. 3 people shot and killed along Kodiak Drive. Siblings 6-year-old London Walneal, 9-year-old Demetrius Walneal, and 22-year-old Charles Wade.
This was not a random act of violence. This was a targeted act of violence. This should never have happened. A mother should be preparing to wrap Christmas presents for her child, but instead, she has to figure out how she's going to bury her children.
Chief Elaine Bryant says someone knows something about what happened last night.
A lot of someones know what happened at night. I've been around the block. I lived in these hood areas. A lot of someones know. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like every single person knows. A lot of people know what happened. Okay? It's not just someone. A lot of people know what happened.
A mother should be preparing to wrap Christmas presents for her child, but instead, she has to figure out how she's going to bury her children.
Chief Elaine Bryant says someone knows something about what happened last night. She wants the people who are committing these crimes to come forward for the sake of the community.
It's not a snitching. It's about respecting your community and having compassion for the families that are going through what they're going through and speaking up and allowing us to give them some justice.
This is the chief. So the chief and the assistant chief are sisters. And everywhere you go, you hear about all the police and this racist. How? You got 13 unarmed brothers that get killed every year across the country. And that includes Rayshard Brooks, George, Jacob Blake fighting and stabbing at police and taking their tasers. That's all that. You got 13, including all that. And everywhere you go, the police chief's a son, man, or son, sister. Everywhere. We've been sold the biggest lie in the history of lies. There's nothing wrong with the police. As far as race, there's nothing wrong with our police department in America. Nothing.
Going through and speaking up and allowing us to give them some justice.
Columbus police have received tips since Tuesday night and are combing through camera footage and the evidence from the shooting to piece things together. Leaders say any significant piece of evidence could help. They say the community needs to be the voices for the victims.
What have we lost, and what are we willing to fight for? We cannot allow ourselves to become desensitized, numb. It can never be normal for 6 and 9-year-olds to die in this community.
Brian says people can call Crime Stoppers or CPD's general hotline, and these can be anonymous tips. Coming up at 6 o'clock, why Brian says these tips are so important even beyond an arrest. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Karina Chung, NBC4.
He knows who did this. This does not occur without people talking about it.
Columbus Division of Police Detective Terry Kelly says the shooting deaths of 2 young siblings and a 22-year-old man was a targeted assassination. That shooting happening just after 6 o'clock last night on the city's southeast side on Kodiak Drive. Mayor Andrew Ginther spoke today about the violence, saying this cannot be normal for children to die this way in this community. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Marshall.
And I'm Kerry Charles. It's been more than 24 hours since the shooting and no one has been arrested. City and safety leaders are making it clear that stopping the violence needs to be a community-wide effort. They cannot do it on their own. NBC4's Eric Halpern has been speaking with some community members. He's live tonight. Eric, these folks are trying to help. What's their message for the community?
Carrie, it's similar to what we're hearing from city and safety leaders, and they're also hoping more people step up and become mentors and provide guidance so violence does not become the answer in the first place. The Tuesday night deadly shooting of 22-year-old Charles Wade and siblings, 9-year-old Demetrius and 6-year-old London Walneal, sending the feeling of heartbreak across the city.
My heart hurts for this mother. She shouldn't have to go through this. No mother should have to bury their child.
Janae Patrick volunteers with Mothers of Murdered Columbus Children, a nonprofit.
Think about it. This is everywhere some people are. Mothers of Murdered Columbus Children, Mothers of Murdered Baltimore Children, Mothers of Murdered Philly Children, Mothers of Murdered New York. Everywhere they have these groups, these programs. Tons of these programs everywhere. And this one isn't that bad. I don't think this is a bad one. I mean, these mothers get to meet up and commiserate, and they know someone else is going through what they're going through. They get to talk, cry, lean on each other. You know, be strong for each other, give each other strength and compassion and whatever, man. I don't have a problem with this program. It just shouldn't be necessary everywhere this one group of people are.
My heart hurts for this mother. She shouldn't have to go through this. No mother should have to bury their child.
Janae Patrick volunteers with Mothers of Murdered Columbus Children, a nonprofit that works to end violence and helps families deal with losing loved ones to violence.
These kids were supposed to be somebody. Who knows what they were the cure to, what they were supposed to do when they grew up.
Like city leaders, she says the entire community needs to help reverse the violent trend.
We all have a place in the fight.
Mayor Andrew Ginther is hoping faith leaders can help. At Family Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Frederick Lamar already works with at-risk youth and young adults. He's feeling the heartbreak too.
The fact that somebody would shoot down a car and got children in the car, it ought to send a light off now. Okay, now somebody got to step up.
He says he's worked with shooting victims and suspects, but what happened Tuesday night hits differently.
It's sad to think it this way, but it might take this to really open people's eyes up.
Hit one if you think anything's going to change. Because this happens in other cities every day. Like, pick a city where this happened at, or Memphis, where the car full of girls was shot up leaving the basketball game the other day. Did anything change in Memphis? I mean, nothing's going to change. You need a crime bill, man. It's the only thing that's going to change anything is a crime bill. A draconian one, too. So a message needs to be sent with this crime bill. That crime bill got to have some heat on it, man. You know how like in the NBA when they hard fouls, like a playoff foul, they foul a dude hard just to send a message like, man, look, this the playoffs, man. Ain't nothing gonna be easy here in the paint. You need one of them. You need a playoff foul crime bill, man. Man, nothing's gonna change, brother. Nothing.